All right, so here is the first section in this video, and we're just gonna start it like that. So we're gonna talk about the assembly right now. Here's how you assemble a saxophone. So first off, you're gonna want to take your instrument, and here's the instrument in the case, and the logo is gonna be right here, and you want to make sure that that is laying in front of you, so you can't see the ground. But I'm gonna do that right now. I'm gonna place it exactly in front of me with the logo facing up. Because if you open the case the other way, all the parts and whatnot are going to fall right out of it, and that's not going to be very good. You can damage the instrument. So now that you have the case in front of you, you're going to want to undo the buckles, and you're going to want to open the instrument, and then you're going to want to start assembling the saxophone. So first, you're going to want to take your neck strap out, make sure that it's straight, and you want to put it around your neck. That's step one. Next, you're going to take your reed, take it out of its case, put the case somewhere on a surface, on your stand. Put the reed in your mouth. It's important not to chew it or bite on it. That's bad because it'll split the reed or damage it, and you could get splinters or get chips in your mouth, and you could damage your mouth or damage the reed. So let's do that. Next, we want to take your mouthpiece, take off the cap, place the cap in the case, loosen the ligature just enough. You want to take the reed, slide it right onto the bed, and you're going to make sure that there's just a little bit of the black showing, just about that much. Slide the ligature on. And then you want to tighten it. And a good way to check if you have it on enough is sometimes the ligature will have enough space to fit the logo in the space. So I'm going to show that in just a moment as I fix my bad job. All right. And you are going to just look and see how it fits kind of perfectly right in there. That's a good sign that you did that part right. Make sure that it's just like that. And you're gonna want to tighten the ligature on, I didn't show that, tighten the ligature onto the reed so that you know that it's on. Next, you're gonna want to take the neck, and you're gonna want to eventually twist it on, but if it does not twist on very nice and smooth, take some cork grease, simply apply it around the cork, just enough. This cork grease isn't great, so I'm going to apply a little bit more than usual. Then you want to take your mouthpiece, and you want to twist that right on until there's about maybe a ½ inch. I don't really know the measurement, but I will say about that much. So there you go. So now you have about a ½ inch of the cork visible. You want to tighten it right to the neck until you have that. Now, take this and you can put it right in where the neck slot of your case was. And that's the next step. Finally, you're going to take up the whole instrument, grab it correctly by a part that doesn't have any keys on it. And you want to take out the cap here. And you want to take the instrument, clip on your saxophone to the instrument, and then you're going to want to take the neck, put it on in. Make sure you find a comfortable place for your playing position. And that's how you assemble the saxophone. All right, so now that we have assembled the saxophone, we're going to talk about the different playing positions. One position is to hold the saxophone right in front of you, just like this. The mouthpiece should go just like sitting pretty comfortably. The mouthpiece should go right into your mouth, just like it is right now for me. And your teeth should be able to be anchored right onto the mouthpiece. And in order to, if let's say your instrument's like out all the way over here and you can't quite reach without stretching your neck, the answer is not to stretch your neck. The answer is not to maybe pull the mouthpiece towards you. You're going to want to take your neck strap and you want to adjust it, adjust it to where you feel is comfortable for you. So I already have it pretty comfortable for where I am, but all you would need to do is just slide this up or down depending on where you need to go. The other playing position, which I'm going to need to adjust a little bit for, is off to the side. And you might need to adjust your mouthpiece just a little bit, but don't pull it out, just align it. And your saxophone will be off to the side like so. And all you do is blow. Same as, front. But all you need to do is maybe move the neck a little bit and maybe put this in more or adjust the neck strap some more. So those are the two different playing positions you have on the saxophone. In terms of proper posture, for off to the side, you're going to want to be kind of sitting to the edge of your seat, and you're going to want to be, this is actually a little short, you're going to want to be basically sitting up straight, but not like super straight to where you can't breathe, but just enough to where you're not slouching, but you're not like super tall, kind of like a nice in between right there. And you should have a pretty nice playing position right there. Now if you're in the front, like I usually play, it's going to be basically the same principles. Feet flat on the floor. Make sure that's, obviously the right length for you. And then make sure you're not slouching. Go ahead and air support. Make sure you're not super tall though, because also air support. But you want to make sure that the air is blowing smoothly and not like, you can hear a difference. It's very, there's a little bit of a difference, but you shouldn't be slouched. So that's that. So for the next part of this video, we're going to be talking about embouchure formation. Now before we go any further with the embouchure of the saxophone, if you have something like a debit card, like I have a little gift card here, or even like a business card, I'm gonna show you a little trick here. One part to knowing where your teeth go in the saxophone, you want to take a nice card or something like that, slide it right in between until it stops. Right where the card stops, that's about where you're gonna want to put your upper teeth. I say upper because you don't want to put your lower teeth on the reed because it'll squeak. So once you have that rough, tough marked, you can honestly draw it in with a pencil or something. Not a great idea, but it's an idea. And then you have a place to put your teeth. Now we'll start putting the actual mouthpiece in our mouth. You're going to want to anchor the mouthpiece to your upper teeth. And right to where the card stopped. And then you're going to want to roll your lower lip over your bottom teeth. That way it's not touching the reed, so you have a sound that sounds like instead of, because that's bad. If you have your teeth on the lower reed, it can also cause chipping and splintering in your mouth, and that's also not good. Another thing is that you're gonna want to make a face that's almost like a milkshake face, as I'm going to call it. And it's basically where you're going to want to you can honestly take a straw. I don't have one on me, but you can take a straw, suck in, and then stop the air on the other side, and your face will make a pucker almost. And that is, it's going to tuck your corners back, and it's going to close your lips. So I'm just going to do it metaphorically, but you can do it with a straw. And then once you have that formation, put the saxophone in your mouth, anchor the teeth, close the corners and your mouth, put your teeth on top, and make sure your lip is rolled over, and then blow. Another thing that you don't want to do is have your cheeks puff out. do not make sure that your tongue is not touching the reed. Otherwise, you won't get any sound. You'll have this. You'll have. You might get some sound if you're blowing hard enough, but you won't have a good sound, or you won't have any sound. You might have that, but that's it. You will not make the sound that you want on the saxophone. If no sound is coming out, it means you're biting too hard. So just, lower your jaw a little bit instead of biting too hard, because then no sound will come out as the reed vibrates on the mouthpiece. So that's talk on embouchure, and yeah, hope that went well. In this next part of the video, we'll be talking about articulation. There are many ways. There are a few ways. There's not that many ways, but there's a few ways to articulate. One for more legato is to try saying la 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 la, and then applying that to the saxophone. So when you play, instead of just doing, try saying la 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 when you play, or you could try saying la la la, but just make that motion. Don't speak it, but say it like that, and then apply it to the saxophone. And that's one way to do it. That's a more legato way to do it. Now for more clearly defined articulation, you can say D D D or ta ta ta. And you can do both, and you could try it on the saxophone, and you should have roughly around the same thing. See, so you say D D D, and then or then ta ta ta, and it's the same thing. Just articulate it with your tip with the tip of your tongue on the reed. Excuse me, and it comes up with a more defined articulation. So try that again with la la la. So la la la. And ta 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 or D D D. There you go. So for the final part of this video, we're going to be talking about tone production. We're going to talk a little bit about dynamics right now. So there are two ways that you can kind of do dynamics in the simplest way possible. So one way, if you want to start doing forte, pretend like you are blowing at something far away. So I'm going to use the example of blowing at a candle that's maybe 2 feet in front of you. So if you were a candle 2 feet in front of you, you're trying to blow out, you would try to blow on it, because if you just do, nothing's going to happen to it. That flame's still going to be there. But if you eventually blew hard enough, that candle might go out. And you can do the same thing to the saxophone. So when you do that, you do. You get a really kind of forte kind of sound, especially when you go down to the lower notes. Really kind of loud sound. The other way to do it is piano. And that would be to do the opposite. Instead of blowing on this candle that's 2 feet in front of you, maybe blow on it that's like maybe right here. And maybe all you're trying to do is blow on it to make sure that to kind of challenge the flame to stay alive, or just trying to blow it out. So just kind of like that. And then watch the flame die away. Or don't. But then now we're gonna try that, just kind of like with light blowing. So as opposed to another way to help another way to do with tone production, instead of so much the dynamics, is to try closing your throat a little bit. As if you were to whisper to someone, it kind of closes your throat up a little bit because you're not making as much noise. So try doing that kind of whisper effect while playing, and play piano, and it'll give you a more closed legato tone. So like. On the other hand, talk as if, or play as if I was talking to you right now. And I'm talking in a room, whatever, just having a conversation, and have that kind of way to talk to people. And now apply that to your saxophone. So it'll have your throat a little bit more open. So have as opposed to, and then it's almost like talking quietly instead of more whispering. So that concludes the video. And hope this gets a good grade. And thank you.